Hey, today we're discussing the show Lockwood and Co, a series that aired on Netflix in 2023 for one season, and it's an adaptation of a book series that I used to actually read as a teenager. I think it was actually the last, sort of fantasy sort of series of books that I was really into, and written really well. The author is Jonathan Stroud, who is a really famous, British author who wrote a bunch of series surrounding fantasy and, world building of that sort. So the show revolves around ghosts essentially. Ghosts are real, and the thing is that only children and teenagers can see them and detect them. So you have these children and teenagers with psychic abilities, and they are basically forming ghost hunting agencies, which is a really cool idea. They have swords and they have equipment. It's a really cool universe, really well done, really well written. And the show honestly surprised me because one day I open up Netflix and it's just there, and I'm like, when did this become a show? And so I immediately clicked on it, and surprise, surprise, I completed the entire season in one go. And let's be very honest, I'm not someone who watches, an entire season in one sitting. I just have things in my life now that I need to do as an adult. And the craziest part of this experience is that these episodes are not short. These are 45-minute plus episodes. And with a show like that, I try to space them out. But the show was just so good. I'm not joking. You don't need to have read the books, but if you read the books, the experience just adds on to it. When I watched the first episode, it was such a good adaptation. You can tell the budget's not too high, but the casting, the way it's paced, everything felt so good. I was actually recalling a lot of the books when I was watching the show, and I was so pleasantly surprised by it that I actually ended up watching the entire season. And a few days ago, I just randomly remembered the show, and I was like, wait, is there season 2 coming out? And I proceeded to Google, and then I found out the show was cancelled. Why does Netflix keep doing this? It's so damn annoying. I feel like nowadays shows have to either really hit it, in terms of virality on TikTok or YouTube and all that, to be given just a fighting chance. Imagine a show just being given one season to prove itself. And I think this show proved itself, because the reason why I went into the show is because of the way it's been reviewed. It's been reviewed really well. And so I knew this wasn't just a random show that Netflix threw out. It had good reviews, so I gave it a shot and I thoroughly enjoyed my experience. Hence, I consumed the entire thing in one go. The entire day went away. I have no idea what happened. And it's really disappointing to see, because it was such a cool show. The casting in the show was so well done, because all the actors felt very natural for the role. Because I've read the books, and the characters and the way they're brought to life is done really well. And ever since the show has been cancelled, there has been some, online movements to actually bring the show back to life in some manner. There's a petition on change.org. There's even a YouTube channel dedicated to trying to find a way to bring this show back to life. The YouTube channel actually has videos of people meeting up, fans of the show, meeting up and discussing the show and the universe and everything. The author Jonathan Stroud has showed up to this, and it's there's a real movement to get this show, back on air, and to get a season 2 and maybe potentially a season 3. I'm not sure how many books were covered in the first season, but there are 5 books in total, and a lot of content can be covered in newer seasons if they were to actually bring the show back. Jonathan Stroud, I believe, had a consultancy, sort of role with this show, and in terms of, creatively taking this in different directions and everything, that's also possible, because you literally have the author at your disposal when working on the show. And it's just really sad to see a show like this, being cancelled. It had a lot of potential, it reviewed well, and I think just because of low viewing numbers, Netflix cancelled it, and it just really sucks. If you want to support this movement, I'm gonna leave the link for the petition in the description, and another link for generally what you could do to help out. There's a Discord server. Honestly, just watch the show. I think that's the best way of supporting it. Get the viewing numbers up, and maybe we can get a season 2 and potentially a season 3. Thanks for watching the video. Like and subscribe. It's free for you, but it's priceless for me. Go check out my music and go drink some coffee.